So just some details about how I mark my scores. Click and hold. The editing options come up, and I use this highlighter option. So right now it's yellow, but I could change the saturation, transparency, and I keep it around half transparency so I actually see the notes underneath the color. Same with saturation. So I just pick a color, usually red is easy because I can always find it if you just scroll to the left. So then I would zoom in and say this is the voice I'm wanting to mark. I just go ahead and drag that. So in terms of color options, I'm not really consistent about what colors I use for what, but I try to be consistent within one piece. So as you can see, I use different colors for the different lines, and that's just to separate them visually. I wouldn't use different shades of red, for example, because it's hard to see. For rhythm, I like to use a lighter shade of some kind of color, and I draw lines vertically. Also here, these red lines, it just reminds me of hearing that connection between those two notes. A lot of times I mark in letters. Here's a G, here's a D, B, and I also use this kind of light orange pen for fingerings. But it depends. Sometimes I use blue, sometimes I use black, red. I also use those lines to separate the score in sections that I'm going to be working on. Also, I use these highlighters to just group certain notes in passages that I use to spot where I am, or I use as anchor points, various different things. I also use the highlighter for phrase marks, and also, even if it's not a few inner lines, outer lines, it's just easier to follow. So these are hand positions. I think that pretty much covers it. Any other marking that I would do in a regular score, I just do with different types of pens or highlighters.